Oh, we keeping it going. The Cleveland Browns are on a mission to clean up this mess. Yes, you heard it right here from KTV. Big moves being made. Big moves being made from GM Andrew Berry and owner Jimmy Haslam as they clean up this room of sabotage and messiness that was going on with the Cleveland Browns. We have offensive linemen being fired, not brought back. We got to break this down. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. So we know that the Cleveland Browns offensive line was an absolute joke last year. You could block better than that. Your kid could block better than that. Your grandma could block better than what those offensive linemen was doing. They are making moves to resolve all of that as we speak. Here it says Cleveland Browns free agency needs and re-signing decisions. Okay. Jack Duffin has you covered for all things free agency to kick off his series. He'll be looking at every position to see how it shapes up for 2026 and what the Cleveland Browns need to add on March. Okay, now the important part here is we got a couple people who will not be who are being fired, not being brought back. Okay, one, you see it right here on the free agents list for the Cleveland Browns. Okay, Tevin Jenkins, right here. I don't know if I can highlight him for you guys. Okay, I can't highlight it, but you see him right here. Boom. Tevin Jenkins. He will not be being brought back, I don't believe, as an offensive lineman for the Cleveland Browns. He didn't do anything. It is what it is, man. Tevin Jenkins, just not it. And Ethan Pokich, okay? Obviously, you got Wyatt Teller over there. Wyatt Teller, they lied about an injury with him. And he was held out of games for whatever reason, and he was pissed off about it, and he called out Kevin Stefanski for lying about injuries, and Wyatt Teller was saying he wasn't hurt. Joe Bitonio probably moving on. But Tevin Jenkins and Ethan Pokich will not be being brought back. Cleveland Browns GM Andrew Berry is cleaning up this mess, okay? It's an absolute mess what this offensive line has been. And Andrew Berry knows he has to clean this up, especially if he wants to keep his job. So you have two linemen being fired, right? And, we got I believe Jimmy Haslam will be announced as the head coach this week for sure. And we got to see who's going to be the offensive coordinator, who's going to be the offensive guru. We got some guys that they're debating here on UCSS. You got Grant Udinski. I've been hearing a lot about him. Actually. So I would love for them to land Mike McDaniel. But if they're not able to land him, I'm interested to see what one of these two guys bring to the table. Let's give it a listen.
Offensive minds.
I like the fact that I think Udinski played. He played in college, right?
Well, Shieldhouse definitely did.
So Udinski, when he was at Baylor, I heard a story where he was basically, they brought him in as, I think he was the offensive assistant or offensive guy. And basically he sold everything he had to be, get that job. He stayed in, he was sleeping in his car, and then the defensive coordinator brought him in. It talked about how, he is so hands-on when it comes to breaking down different things, and how he has this idea and mindset of, he's in the weeds when it comes to a lot of stuff. He's kind of quirky. All he cares about is football. I think he does hiking. He said the only time that he's around or off the field or not talk about football is when he's doing hiking and doing stuff like that. Is he notorious for people calling him at 2:30 in the morning, hitting him up like, yo, hey, what you think about this play? And he always answers his phone. So for me, he seemed like a hungry dude. He seemed like a dude that wants to make his mark in the league. He seems like a guy that is up for a challenge. For me, I like that type of energy. You may not get your top candidate that's an old head that got options like Harbaugh, Tomlin, a lot of these dudes. But these guys right here, I think
that's what I'm saying. Like I told y'all from the door, Harbaugh wasn't coming. Tomlin's not going to be coaching this year. He's taking time off. You might not be able to get who was at the top of your list initially, But you still can find some good fits that can help you build a good football team, and you got to be open to it. You got to be open to it.
One, the innovation. Two, the fact that I feel like they can relate to younger quarterbacks, that they can see life the same way they see it. And I think, in general, if you look at him or Shieldhouse, they've been in some systems and they've been around from some people who really are smart. Like this guy right here is a pass game coordinator. Now look, it's one thing about the Rams, I can say they got people wide open all the time.
Yeah. If you the pass game coordinator for Sean McVay, look, we know Sean McVay called the plays. He's a mastermind. But if you learn it from him and you the pass game coordinator, you know a thing or two.
Now they got Puka Nacua and they had Cooper Kupp, but they be open a lot.
Yeah, so for me, I'm intrigued by both of these young candidates, man. I think they are some very, very intelligent young men. I do think they have some level of offensive brilliancy to them. I know Bull don't like that because they're young, but when you are that young, you might lack some life experiences, but your ideas is fresh. You see the world from a different view, and you got to understand you got to be changing as the times change. I look at a guy like Shieldhouse. That would be my pick if the Cleveland Browns was to go with one of these young men. He's a disciple of Sean McVay, and he's a guy that he has learned how to draw plays, as he's gone through the coaches that he's worked with through the ranks. And so to me, that lets me know that he has a very, very creative mind, and that his concepts and things that he like to put out there is very different and very unique. He seems to be a very, very good communicator. I actually know somebody whose nephew played with him at the University of Illinois and spoke very, very highly of him.
That's where I remember him from.
Yeah,
He's quarterback.
That's
quarterback there.
okay. That's why I remember that name.
When I look at him and I first heard his name, come on the board, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was a hardball guy. I really wanted hardball. But if you was to scale back of your favorites of the big names and look more realistically, he to me has stood out a lot. Grant, 30 years old, if you hear him talk, he sounds like he's about 40. Very, very mature for his age. I've seen the stories too. Anybody who get it out the mud and really, really passionate about it and willing to do it broke, willing to do it under the most adverse circumstances, and you can still be that rose to grow from concrete and figure things out, don't make no excuses for yourself. Yeah. It says a lot about his accountability, his maturity level, and things like that. And sometimes, you got to be able to give people a shot, because, I heard some of the things that you said, and I kind of disagree with that. And real quick, before you go, I just put myself in that, right? I used to work for the city of Cleveland for the courts. Mm-hmm. And when you work for the courts, that's a very important job. You are the record keeper. And when you are a supervisor, the stroke of your pen can put somebody in jail, out of jail. You write affidavits, the wrong letter, the wrong number can screw somebody's life up. I was promoted to supervisor at 23 years old. At the time, I had 2 years total experience. I supervised 7 people that was all older than me and had much more experience than me. You look at Andrew Berry. The Browns took a chance on him at 32 years old. So it's not the craziest. He hasn't
done a good job, though.
It's not the craziest idea in the world to think that Andrew Berry is willing to take a chance on a 35 or a 30-year-old who might be next up, even if it's a year early.
Listen, look, man, we don't listen to no damn Adam the Bull. His ass don't even watch no damn football, bro. He don't watch nothing. He don't know nothing. He was talking about the quarterbacks in 26. He ain't watched a full game of nobody but Mendoza because of the playoffs. He don't know what the hell he be talking about. He's a clown too. I don't listen to him, man. What we listening to him for? Well, he don't know nothing. I listen to him to laugh at him, but he don't know nothing. So who cares what Adam the Bull think, man? Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. This Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel.